Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're doing part 3 of the AO35 Hammond conversion to a guitar amp. Before we start on the next section, I am going to give you a close-up of actually what's going on the parts. I rewatched the last video and couldn't really see what was going on in the tone stack. So I'm going to get you down in there, and then I'm going to show you a couple of other things that I ran into while I was prepping for the power section of this conversion. Okay, so here we are on the tone section. I've got this up on its end here, and so we're gonna start down here at this bass pot, yeah? And so what I'm showing you here is we've got, this is the number 3 lug, the wiper, and then the number 1 lug. So, and then we've got the middle, treble, and volume pots. Okay, so we're going to start here with our jack. And so what I've done here is I've taken this shielded wire and I've taken the braided, the shield, and jumped it over to the sleeve with the 1 meg resistor, and then the power portion of the inside of the wire is to the tip, and it comes down into here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom you just out just a tad. So the power wire the wire comes from the tip to the grid. So pin number 2 of V1. Now we go from our volume pot, which comes from the grid, pin 7, and then comes all the way over and goes to the wiper. The wiper is jumpered with this black wire that goes from here to the number 1 lug to ground, in accordance with the ground here that is grounded to the chassis. Let me get you back in here and show you a little bit closer where we're at now. So, and then from our volume pot, lug number 3, we have an 820 ohm and a 120 picofarad coming from lug number 1 to the wiper of our treble pot. And then on lug number 1 as well, right here, which is jumpered to the wiper of our bass pot, we also have a 0.1 microfarad at 630 volts to our junction here at a 100K to a 100K resistor, going to our junction down here that comes up with this yellow wire to our coupling cap that goes into the plate, which is pin 1. Over on the next pin of our treble, we've got a 250 picofarad going directly to the junction down here after the 100K resistor. Now jumping over to the mids, we have a 6.8K resistor going from lug number 1 to ground, and then a jumper, well, a 0.047 microfarad going to the junction right here to the 100K resistor going to the junction that goes to our tube. And then we have a jumper from the wiper to pin number 1, of our base pot, and then that is the final portion of our tone circuit. Now let me zoom you out and show you where we're at over on the power section. You can see here, this terminal, I had no idea, but it was broken. And so I had already put this plate on. There was a small crack in it, and when I tried to get it ready for all of my power section, it snapped on this side and it was dangling right here. Now I can't have that. I did try to glue it together with some epoxy, but I just didn't like that. And so what I did is I went ahead and took another 3-position terminal and I soldered that to the ground lug that's to the chassis. And now, so we still have our ground lug, and this is really solid, and now we have our 2 power section, or 2 power cables able to be soldered in. So that's where we're at with that. Let me get this, and then all I did here was just wrap these, and I actually haven't gotten this one all the way wrapped again. So and so now we're ready to put our cable in. Okay, we've got our power cord coming in through the grommet. Then it comes directly to the fuse. Out of the fuse, it comes down to the switch, and then when your switch is in the on position, it comes off and connects directly to the other lead of the power transformer. The neutral comes down and it connects directly to the other lead of the power transformer. Then our ground comes in right here and connects directly to this grounded portion of the chassis, and we do have continuity there. Next thing that we're gonna do, I've already soldered this one in because I didn't want to get like the soldering iron all burny on some wires down in there. So I had this one lifted up this direction before I connected it here. What we're gonna do now is we're just gonna go ahead and hit all these connections and solder them up, and yeah. So we're gonna start here with our fuse holder. Hold on, this is twisty. I don't like that. There we go. And we're gonna solder this one up here. Get that one all good. So the next step is to hurry up and wait. Really though, the next step is to get our tube tester up here, and where did I put them? There they are. And test our tubes that came with this, and set this out of the way. Get all the solder balls out of here, huh? Did you hear all that? All right. It's inevitable. You have solder balls.
You play with your balls a lot.
Do not play with my balls.
Larry Bird doesn't do as much ball handling in one night as you do in an hour.
You know what would make me happy?
Got a couple balls and an extra set of fingers?
Gonna get our tube tester up here. And we're gonna test our tubes that we've got on here, and I'll bring you back to Alright, moment of truth, guys. I'm gonna spin this around. We've got it plugged into our dummy load here. We've got our power connected into our current limiter, and our current limiter plugged into our variac. And we're gonna turn this on and then slowly dial it up. Okay, so my tubes are definitely getting warm. I can see my filaments lighting up. Let's go ahead and dial it up to 120. We're at full voltage now. And so far, so good, guys. I forgot to wire up my filament, so... And I'm also gonna... That's why that shit ain't working, so... Yeah, I think everything is good here. So the next test is to... let's go ahead and flip her off. And, dial this back down. Turn that off. Turn that off. So, everything seems to be working. The next test is we'll get these filament wires soldered up in here. But initial startup was a success, guys, so that's inspiring to me. Just a note, this Hammond tube that I had here was like pinning like super good, and I didn't like that, so I went ahead and got another EL84 SBQ5 or and what I did is I just took one out of here and matched it with the other Hammond that was already in there. So, let's go ahead and unplug this. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about that, guys. And I'll talk to you a little bit about other stuff that I've done with this. Once we've got those capacitor values drained and whatnot, I'll solder in my filament wires, my filament heaters to my pilot, and then I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the other things that I've done with the with this amp. I'm super happy right now. We had nothing explode. We brought it all the way up to full voltage on our dummy load, and yeah, our resistors were getting warm, so we're cool there. Yeah, not super warm, but they were getting warm. So yeah, we're gonna unplug this, and the next step is to plug it into an amp or a speaker cab and see how she goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these tubes out. I'm gonna put these ones away. I'll bring you back in a little bit here. Okay, so we got it all hooked up to our cab. We've got input on our thing. We've got 90 volts coming from our Variac to our current limiter to our amp. Well, let's turn the current limiter down and then we'll bring it up. Turn it down to 0. We'll flip her on and start bringing her up until we see the light come on the okay, we got a faint glow on our amp. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom you in. We got a faint glow here on our amp. Our tubes are starting to warm up a little bit. Let's bring her up to that's 65 volts right there. Our tubes are warming up. We've got no sound, yo, at all. Our tube's warming up a little bit more. Let's go ahead and dial her up a little bit more. Let's put 90 volts on it. You can see it's glowing pretty good there. Let me zoom you in a little bit more. You can see it's glowing pretty good. But we still got no sound. Yeah, that tube's super hot already, so let's shut her down. And we're gonna go ahead and end the video here on this. My transformer's still cold. My tube is like super hot. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and end the video here. Stay tuned for the next video. We're gonna go ahead and try and figure out why we've got no sound coming out of this rutabaga. I don't want to leave it running too long without sound coming out, and that this tube is just like super duper hot, like extremely hot already, and it hasn't been on for that long. So we got to figure something out. Thanks for tuning in. Peace, guys. We'll diagnose this on the next video.